Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I'm gonna do the usual test. Hello, test 1, 2, 3. If you give me a quick response, we can start. A tad quiet. Can hear you. Okay. It's a little bit louder now. Am I louder now? Hello, Panda, Gwenji, and all the other people that came to visit my stream. I hope that I'm a little bit louder now and you can hear me just fine. And if I'm too loud, I'm sorry. Just turn me down a little bit. Yeah, okay. Today is gonna be a pretty important stream, so I just hope I don't mess up too much and we get this through very quickly and easily. I'm gonna give you like a brief introduction to how to do like your own Genga, what to look out for, what kind of techniques exist, how to utilize timing charts, how to use the triangle and the circles for the keyframes in between guides, and that's pretty much about it. That's pretty much I wanna, and I'm also gonna show you how I draw. Of course, I'm gonna show it everything along the way. So please be a little bit patient and listen carefully. And that's cool. You're audible. So yeah, I'm glad everyone has time to come around. First of all, I have like a window open right here, and this gives like a few hotkeys. I'm gonna add some more hotkeys and the ones that I'm using in the stream onto this page, and I'm gonna upload it later on to my Dropbox file, to my Dropbox link where also the brushes are and some presets and whatever you need, right? So we can all just gather all the stuff there, and then you got everything you need. I'm gonna also, go about all the hotkeys I've been using. Then I'm gonna write them down in this file whenever I use another one, pretty much. And yeah, maybe it helps you a little bit better to get along with these hotkeys and all these different tools. And yeah, you will definitely need them, especially if you want to be faster and more efficient in the long run. Then this, yeah, 2 lives in a row. But this one, after this one, I'm gonna take a little break for a longer while, probably because I'm gonna be working, and I'm also gonna do gonna spend some time for myself, as I already said last stream and at the end of last stream. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Where's my fucking pen? Let's go. First of all, you will find these animation hotkeys or like hotkey selections under File, Shortcut Settings, right? You want to go to Shortcut Settings. This window is gonna open. Then you go to Animation. For new cell, I use F7 like in Macromedia Flash or Adobe Animate, right? You just use I'm just used to it, so I use F7 for new animation cell. Then I use point and comma to jump between the previous and the next cell, right? It's like when you skip through the frames on YouTube or on Sakugaburu, right? You can also go with point and comma. You can also go through these cells. So yeah, pretty useful. Helps you a lot to also figure out motion much more easier, and you don't have to go through like triple frames or anything like that, because you just jump from cell to cell. It's pretty convenient. Then I got the play and stop button on 4. So whenever I press tab and hide my windows, so everything works smoothly, I press 4. So the animation gets played, and when everything is hidden, like all the other windows, animation runs more smoothly. I think I covered all of that, but I'm just going through it one more time real quick. So yeah, previous and next frame, just if I just want to jump one frame forth, back and forth, I'm using A and S. And over here, I use these track labels to kind of mark down where I want to have my in-betweens. If I like put down in-between guides or like in-between charts, then it helps me to, just put them down on the timeline. Makes everything a little bit more organized and nicer looking. And yeah, that's pretty much the ones that I use. As I said, like they're all also copy pasted on this page, and which I'm gonna upload later on. Okay, let's dive right into it. So this is where we left off yesterday. We made this rough animation. We also added some shading and stuff. Shading is not final though, neither are the drawings. Everything is gonna be changed in just a bit. We're gonna try to just clean up the keyframes for now. So what we gotta do is we gotta determine where our keyframes are, where we want to have in between guides, and which frames are like we basically decide which frames are just the most important ones to us and which are like needed for the pipeline, or like which ones some others could be like just drawn for you from the in-between and stuff, right? And we kind of want to figure that out, especially since most of us foreigners or like overseas animators, we tend to animate straight ahead. So it's pretty hard for us to tell to where do I want to actually put down the keyframe now, right? You also don't want to draw all of it, except if your name is Bahi JD or Weilin Zhang. It's not really recommended to draw all the keyframes yourself, but if you can do it, it definitely can, guarantee a certain quality to your work, right? So, yeah, we're gonna try to talk and address this, and what would be more convenient for the pipeline and what would be more helpful for the pipeline in the end. And straight ahead works, but just to some degree. You got to be aware about certain things that you can utilize so you can actually animate straight ahead. And also, it really depends also on the production. So maybe some productions actually don't want to use many frames, so they're not a friend of straight ahead, and they would just redraw your work with just make a, I don't know, a still out of it. But maybe the still was also the original intention, and you just went a little bit overboard on the straight ahead thing. Okay. Anyways, let's get this going. So we got these two layers. I'm also going to split up the layers a little bit, so to clarify things. You can actually split up layers later on in the Genga from LO to Genga. That's actually fine, I think. But your drawings and your cells need to be very clarified. And most of the time in your layout, you actually want to have the right timing and the right amount of layers already. So if you do it, make sure you split up efficiently. For example, there's this cool Kekai Sensen shot, and as far as I know from Mr. Nakamura, I'm going to show you what I mean. There's like a certain technique he used where you actually split up his Genga like one cell into two cells. So basically, A has two individual layers because that way he can keep better track of these both different parts he drew on this one layer. And the shot I'm referring to is from Kekai Sensen. I'm gonna get it up. I'm gonna find the clip real quick. I'm gonna tell you where he actually used it. Or one second. I'm gonna be there real quick. It's an optional thing, but like there's something you might just want to know about. It's like a very interesting information, right? So there's this shot, right, where this monster, runs toward the sky in Kekai Sensen in episode 1. Big spoiler if you didn't watch it yet. I'm sorry. He's charging up his attack pretty much, and then this monster's coming towards him. He's blasting this giant cross into this monster, right? And over here on this part, right, you have the monster in the bridge, And as far as I know, the bridge and the monster are actually drawn on different papers, but they are still on the same cell. It's just so the monster he could actually pay attention to the bridge and what's underneath, and it's also helpful for the in-betweener later on if he gets this extra information, right? Because you can't see what's behind the monster and stuff, because the monster is kind of in front of the bridge, but it's still the same layer, so they also have the same timing, right? And then they're just fused together at the end pretty much and create together one layer, right? Okay, that's about it. That's something only probably people like Nakamura or other pros would do. It's a very interesting thing. I don't know if we newbies are actually allowed to use this or actually should use it, because we could also just greatly misunderstand and mess up pretty hard. So if you can, try to draw everything on one layer and make sure your stuff doesn't get too detailed in the first jobs until you figure out what works for you, kind of. Okay? Maybe make some tests. Maybe talk with your director, PA, whatever, if this actually works out. And then you'll see. Shit, man. I don't know why my mic is sounding so weird. I actually watched the live stream yesterday and then I was like, oh, yeah, you guys are right, man. My fucking mic is broken. Maybe it fell down one time too often. Who knows? But hey, as long as you can understand me, it's fine. Okay. So we talked about that. I'm sorry if I'm talking quite fast today. I feel like very energetic. But yeah, let's get going. So what I'm doing right now is, first of all, I have my layer A, right? And layer A is like these two characters. I'm gonna split them up into layer A and B. And the same I'm gonna do with the second shot, which is just layer B. It's gonna be layer C and D, okay? So for my layout cells, I just needed these two layers, but now I'm gonna, break them down into 4 layers. So that means shot number 2 is gonna happen around here. Shot number 1 is ending right here. So yeah, I'm splitting the clip right here, pressing on this cell. Then I'm gonna press on the delete cell button, delete specific cell button, and I can get rid of the other part, and it will be empty. Just another thing. I'm gonna turn down the. I'm gonna also redraw the background. Maybe not. I don't know yet. I'll think about it later. I'm gonna turn down the opacity of the whole layer. So that means I'm pressing on this layer right here, on layer A, where the 50 cells are, and you will see that the whole layer is selected. And if I now turn down the opacity, all the frames gonna have like lower opacity. So this is very convenient for the cleanup because it's all I need. Other people would probably try to clean up with onion skin. I am one of the people who don't do that. It depends. I feel like it's just you have more control if you clean up without onion skin and you're more focused on each individual frame. I'm going to do the same over here. Okay, pretty much that's it. All right. Then we go into cleaning up in just a second. First of all, I'm gonna explain you what's okay. First of all, I made a mistake. Whoops. I still need to add the vector layer over here. So I took away all the frames I just had with Control Z pretty much. I'm gonna add like the vector layer over here. Hope you guys can see it. I'm gonna hold on over it because it's a little bit small. It's a little bit hard to find. But yeah, press on the vector layer. You can also press right click, new layer, vector layer, and then you have a new vector layer. Okay, I have one vector layer. This one is gonna be for the line art. I'm gonna call it L for loser, line art. And then I'm gonna have one more layer which is called S for shading. And okay, sorry for my stupid joke. I'm sorry. Yep, that's pretty much it. Okay. Now we got one layer for the shading and one for the line art. Maybe gonna call this one color, so this for the colors, and maybe gonna keep the F for fill. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna do that on the other layers as well. It's pretty much gonna have gonna add like 2 vector layers. I'm gonna call it L, S, C, and F. It's just easier for me. You can also call it, if you want to be more specific, you can call it line, shading. It's a little bit more clear, I guess. So this layer A would probably for the character there, for this guy. And layer B would be for the character in front. So her, the girl. We could also add one more layer maybe later, maybe add some effects, but I don't know how much time it's going to take to clean this up. I guess it will take a lot of time, so we might not even be able to finish this. I'll try. I'm going to be specific here. Just if I upload this later to the Dropbox folder, then you guys know what I've been doing pretty much. Okay. Once again, if you're looking for the layer window and you don't find it, just go to Window, and over here you find the stuff that's might be missing, right? So press on layer, and you're good. Maybe I need animation cells, for example, and then I have animation cells. Pretty useful, because it's always going to show you on which layer you are within the cell. Okay, this one folder is one cell, pretty much. Okay, I guess the girl is the one we want to start with. I have no character sheet, unfortunately. So if you have a character sheet, go to Window, go to Subview, and load in your character sheets. I can't do that right now because there's NDA stuff in there, and I don't want to mess this up. So I'm just gonna pretend on I'm gonna make one more layer. I'm just gonna pretend my subview is on the right side of my extra space. Right. I'm gonna call it subview. I'm gonna draw this box. Gonna call it subview. And what you want to have in your subview always when you draw Genga is the character sheet. Very important. Most important thing you can get, right? Okay, if it's just funny, that's fine. Then maybe it makes the stream even more, entertaining or something with my Xbox 360 voice. Xbox 360. Cool subview. Here's my character sheet, right? So first of all, my character sheet will probably have a front view. This is stick. This is the stick front view. This is the girl, right? Wow, she's a real beauty. Wait, she got actually red lips. Whoa, real beauty, right? And then you got side view of her, right? She's facing in this direction. Damn, son. This is basically how my character sheet would have to look like. So you have side view, front view, maybe you also have a back view, right? You can see it from the back, etc. I don't have a character sheet right now, so everything I do is kind of made up on the spot, and hopefully it's just going to turn out fine. Let's pray to Allah and to God, every upper being that exists in this universe. It's going to turn out fine. Okay. Damn, does she have a penis? Holy shit! I gotta delete that one. No sexual content here. Okay. Such grace, such beauty. Hello, Phoenix Anims, and hello everyone else who joined. Sorry for talking so fast. Hopefully you can still follow up everything nicely. There's also, in some character sheets, there's also a 3 quarter view. Is that how it's called? 3 quarter view. There's in many character sheets, you also have like a character sheet for the face, right? Where you have like different expressions as well for all the people who draw like the close-ups, and character acting is very important. My UI is like that because I just have it like that. I don't know. I just like to have my windows floating around for some reason, and I just embrace the chaos. I like embracing the chaos. Okay. For cleanup now, we got vector layers, right? We added vector layers. So now we actually, every line we draw on this layer is going to be a vector line. So it means we can use our epic vector eraser, which is basically just a normal eraser, but you can, by ticking this button, you can activate the vector eraser. And what it does is, let's say I have 2 lines, and I have, let's say I have this one line, and I have, I don't know, this line, and this line goes way over the point, right? It's not supposed to be that long, and I just want to erase it. I have my vector eraser on, right, as you can see here. I'm just gonna go over this, and bam, like the whole line is kind of gone, right? See that? This is the power of the vector eraser. That means you can create very clean line art with this tool pretty simply. Another suggestion I have, if you clean up using the normal standard brush, you can also use G pen, pixel pen, whatever you want to use for cleanup. You can use any brush on the vector layer. It works with any brush. It can even be a customized brush, can have a texture, doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm gonna use the fine liner right here because it's the one I'm used to. I'm gonna keep this certain thickness to it, too thick. Then I don't know, maybe I want to have some anti-aliasing. Then the line feels more smooth. Yeah. So vector eraser, vector lines. This is what the vector layer gives us. Another thing, let's say I have these. I wanna draw like this long line, and I want to connect it. And then it's like, okay, it's actually not connected so nicely. And there's another tool, which is the vector, which is the line correction tool. I think it's this one. Yeah, this is the one. This is the line correction tool. And over here you have like certain things that you can do with the lines. Over here it's correcting the line. Over here it's connecting the line. Over here it's like simplifying the line or like changing the line. Here you can, make the line more thinner. The anchor point, I'm not really sure what this thing does exactly. I'm not too used to it. Yeah, I'm always using this one because now I have like these 2 lines and I want to combine them. I just go over this, and yeah, no, they're one line, one perfectly straight line, and there's no hole to it or something. It's very good to, if you have like, if you draw like your character and you want to connect the lines, you can get rid of the holes. Sometimes the work doesn't, sometimes doesn't. Whoops. Well, most of the time it does work though, or it should at least work. Maybe it depends on the settings that you use. Maybe if I turn this up a little bit, you can see it's actually working out. Sometimes it connects a little bit weirdly, especially if it's like around the corner. So you might want to use that for more straight lines. They are like not changing too much. For example, let's say over here, right? To fix it up real quick. It really helped me a lot on my work for Witcher because they pretty much told me that all my lines had to be this clean. Everything had to be connected. Everything has to be that there's no spaghetti or any scribble lines on these drawings, man. Every line is straight up sharp. This is basically how my Witcher work had to be, and yeah. Well, the fine liner is just a marker. It's just a standard marker. Actually, it's not. It's called fine liner because it's German. So don't get confused. It's just. It's very cool. Yeah, the tool is very cool and very amazing. Then there's also, the Lasso fill tool, of course, which you cannot use on vector layers. Just saying. It works good for coloring and creating effects, but it's not working on vector layers. As you can see, doesn't let me draw anything. Okay. Probably can use other tools though, like the straight line or anything. So that's fine. Since it's probably an undefined area that you're filling, it's pretty hard to convert that into vector. And vector is just supposed to be like lines connecting. And for fills and stuff, for the fills and the color fills and stuff, we use these two layers later on. Okay, cool. I guess we got this covered. Those are like the essential tools that you will need for the cleanup. And the rest is just now me cleaning up this drawing, making it kind of decent or usable. Then we talk about shading, where to shade, which frames to shade and stuff. But for now, we're just gonna draw. Let's go. That was the introduction, pretty much, or like the whole tutorial. Now it's just taking action from this point on. Okay. I sort of as a konoichi or like a, I don't know, maybe a ninja girl, right? And yeah, I'm gonna already show you the first thing that you can do in anime. So, for example, if you want to have a lineless smear or something, you're gonna use the color red, and then you can just scribble your smear like this, right? And then this part, this area over here, it's gonna be just straight up the color that's basically inside this area, right? It's not gonna have the black outline pretty much. The outline is just gone if you use the color red. Another thing that's for Genga, where you would reuse where you would use red lines. I'm sorry. For example, imagine I have frame 1, right? Frame 1 is this character, and he's like looking in frame 1, and in frame 2, I want him to actually just to lift his head. The rest of the body of this point should stay the same. So my body looks up, right? The body looks up. So this head is moving, but these silhouette is not moving at all. So the body stays in the same position. So what I'm doing, I pretty much say create another layer, and I would just uh, I would just create another layer. I would trace pretty much over my silhouette from the previous frame. I don't know. So basically, just the hair would be moving, and this should indicate that it's the same as before. What you got to do though is compared to this. First of all, you could also mark down that this should be blurred. So you can just add blur, or I don't know. Like maybe it's fine if you just write it in English. Maybe they will understand. But there's also kanjis for this. And let me look them up real quick, because I always need to look in this one file. Like it's one file from Till back then. I'm always looking up this animation file whenever I like struggle with this stuff. There's like a description for blurs and these red lines and stuff, and reusing certain body parts. Give me a second. What page was it? 32. Yeah, over here it's described as well. You have these red lines, right, where you draws the red things. And this is basically how it's going to be handled later on in the compositing. It's basically an information for the compositing later on that this part is going to get blurred. While these parts are still drawn in black, they will not be, they will, like the parts from the body of them, for example, would not be blurred. On other, I've also seen some stuff from Mr. Nakamura where he actually used the red lines, right? And then he split up the layer again, so and put another layer on top where he's using like extra black smears that he puts on top. It's hard to describe right now. Hopefully it's not too confusing. But yeah, motion blur, right? It's also the kanjis. It's pretty much what you want to use. So you would write that down over here, pretty much. Okay. I don't know. For example, this time I'm just gonna write down the kanji, or I'm just gonna copy paste it. I'm gonna make a screenshot and just paste it into that layer. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's over there. It's a little bit small. Okay. Well, of course, it would be cool if you would just write out the kanjis, not be as lazy as me and copy paste it from this one, from this one file, right? You don't want to do that. Would be better if you just. Also, probably if you draw some kanjis, you might remember them and might even recognize them. If you learn some kanjis, would be even better, like hiragana, katakana, and the kanjis themselves. Then you might be understanding even more than I do, and you're probably way less of a lazy tart than me. I really need to learn Japanese, bro. But yeah, this works. Okay. We're gonna continue. Oh yeah, for this one I need to check the kanji as well. I'm not sure which ones was. If anyone in the chat has it, man, just tell me and I'm gonna add it in real quick. One knows the kanji for this. Um, the PDF, I feel a little bit uncomfortable about giving it out, man, so freely. I would have to ask Till first if he's fine with it, because he was the one who translated it and put all the time in, to actually understand it as well. Uh, wait, what was it? I never really used this red line as much, or at least I never write down the kanji to just understand. They just know that I reused the part I used from before. Sometimes I just copy paste the part, and I wouldn't even draw the red line. I would just copy paste, like just lasso to the previous part and just put it in. That works too, man. It's just how it is. Uh, they will know, man. They will understand, I believe. I mean, they're all animators as well, especially directors and stuff. They know how a pipeline works and how certain techniques work. Oh, it's fine. Where was it? I can't find it right now. If anyone, remembers it or want to shoot me a quick DM about the kanjis that have to be used here, please let me know. As you guys can see, I don't even know that much. I'm actually not much of a crazy guy, but somehow it works out. Okay. You can basically make notations for almost anything, by the way. Whether it's like describing, for example, the character or like who the character is, or maybe you want to like put a notation of for example, oh, I actually got a good thing I can show you guys. I need to be a little bit careful right now that I don't put this randomly on stream. For example, on my tuck Genga, right? If you look closely, sorry, there's so much going on. If you look closely, there should be also some notations for some of the. Yeah, for example, I put notations for certain objects to explain what it exactly is, so they don't get too confused, because I have so many lines going on. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming to actually figure out what kind of object that just is, especially if your drawing skills are not that crazy. I mean, my drawing skills also still, lacking in a lot of things. But yeah, it just helps to put down notations, right? I also write down the English stuff below it to make sure that it's clarified what I'm actually trying to describe here. And maybe it just helps to also have like the English translation added to it. This is just I know already that this one is just the one for light, pretty much. So this is kind of for the red cross, pretty much. It's a bit shiny, right? Yeah, and that's pretty much about it. The red crosses pretty much stands for the empty spaces. So it means if there's an empty space and you can basically see through this, right, to the background, then you just put down the red crosses. So that means since I don't have any red crosses on the ground, you cannot see through the ground. But since I put down red crosses behind the wall, you can you can look behind. You can see the background. Okay. What else? Yeah, my Genga over here, you can see that's actually still fairly rough at points. I didn't use the vector layers here, to be fair. And as long your drawings are clear and the line intention is clear, the vector layers are not 100% necessary for the Genga, right? Like you can also, I mean, people draw their Genga still on paper, and they also still have sometimes even, so for example, Takeshi Honda actually has kind of very rough lines if you look at some of his Gengas. At least in the Killer Kill ones, for example, there's it's kind of rough on how he goes about his Genga. Over here, I actually copy pasted the front face, or like the front part, since I didn't want to redraw it, and then I just used the fish aliens filter pretty much, and that's why it kind of comes out like this. Over here, started drawing again. For the effects, to get these outlines for the effects, there's I'm gonna show you some cool trick later on. It's pretty much a way where you can like just outline your how is it called, the lasso fill tool, the lasso fill tool silhouettes. You can just outline them with one click. Very simple if you set up the key, like the setting, the hotkeys correctly. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, I used the orange color, by the way, for the skin and for hair, to kind of clarify what's actually cloth and what's actually part of her. So whenever you see like these that's kind of skin color, whatever it is, right? It's kind of just to show that this is kind of part of a body. But even then, man, it still becomes a little bit unclear on parts over here, for example. Maybe it would have been better if I actually made this a little bit darker, for example, like the shading on from the head onto the body. Then could be a little bit easier to distinguish the hair from the shading from the body. As you can see, I also used the red lines over here for the smear in the back. This is actually the silhouette of the monster, this big thing in the back. The red lines. More red lines. These will have no outlines. Wacky face drawing. Yeah, added some extra details in this one. Yeah, on this one, I actually just had the, these parts, right? And what I did was I was just copy pasting these parts and also on the side. And then I just scaled them correctly to make it feel like it's zooming in. But I didn't even redraw them. Like on some parts I might have, but I just copy pasted most of the. I kind of treated the surfaces of the buildings as textures, and that's how I kind of created the background animation over here. It's so fast though, like barely noticeable, but it kind of feels 3D. Kind of did the same over here at this part, but I also started to run out of time, so the lineup becomes very sloppy. Right? You might not want to have your Gengas this sloppy. Right? Want to keep it a little bit more clean. Adam, for example, has very clean Gengas. Recommend checking it out. He does good Gengas. It still works though, as long as I said, like the silhouette is clear, the drawing is clear, the intention of the lines is clear, everything's okay. As you can see, like I got like blue shading for the blue outlines for the shading on the smoke, but there was like this extra notation of the monster. The smoke actually was a correction, and I just overtook it. And yeah, they wanted me to describe it in a different color, so I did that. So it's like it clarifies that this is the shadow of the monster that's standing in the smoke, and this is the smoke outside of it. Right. Another thing. Yeah. These red colors over here from this monster, right? And they were actually part of the reference character sheet. So I had to kind of draw that in this way. Okay, is there anything more? Yeah, effects, I just draw them straight up in the layer, kind of pre-clean, so I don't have to redraw them in Genga later on. Using a lot of red lines over here as well, using the crosses to clarify empty spaces. And yeah, red lines for lineless drawings. Okay, got this covered. I guess we went pretty much into detail for the blurs. Now you saw it in action as well. The Genga. How long did it take? I think overall effective work time for Takt was probably around a month or something, or longer, maybe longer. Okay. Let's draw. I don't know how good OpenTunes works with Clip Studio Paint and what else you can do, but I'm not using Clip Studio Paint, OpenTunes. I know someone who does, and he actually creates very quality results. So yeah, it's definitely good software. Line was a little bit too thick, so I took away a little bit more. I like the hair silhouette here, so I'm gonna actually go with it. I gotta be a little bit more closer to the hair silhouettes because I feel like if I go too far off the motion, the hair might be a little bit messed up. But maybe it doesn't make so much difference if you moves that much. I just like to keep it in control though. I mean, it's the first frame, so over here I can mess up because the next frame is kind of over here and you just see it for a split second. I'm gonna add a little bit extra detail here. Trying to figure out the hair a little bit for myself, kind of how I drew it, why I drew it like this. I'm gonna stick with these two lines. That has to do. Okay. So her suit should be very close to the body since she's probably extremely dynamic and athletic, and she want to probably utilize that in a fight. So we want to try to give her some very simple and tight cloth. There's no extra thought to this character actually. So I don't even know who she is. I don't even have a name. Gotta be careful to not go too complicated with the design, because otherwise it's gonna be hard for me to remember. I gotta remember this like for the next 15 frames pretty much. And I don't have like a real character sheet. What I could do, man, I could just copy paste, one completed cell and then put it right next to me in my subview, where at the moment my epic girl is. It's already very close to my model, as you can see, but I gotta I might update it a little bit, right? Over here, it doesn't even matter how I draw the bottom part, actually, because it's not even in the screen. People can't even see that. So now it's a question: do I give her like very tight jeans, or if I give her like some more loose cloth? Because if the cloth is also pretty loose, it could also be some kind of protection, because it's harder to tell where the leg actually is. So there's a chance that the person would step through without hitting the right part of the leg. While if you have like very tight cloth, if you were in a fight, people would like instantly, be capable to see where your knee is. And if you're like, for example, kick against the knee, which is like maybe straighten out or something, you can instantly break it. So yeah, maybe you can get away with more loose cloth in a fight much better than with very tight cloth. Right? Logically speaking, a real martial artist would probably give me a very solid answer on this, or like a very good description, and if I'm correct or not. I'm gonna have a little bit more loose cloth on the spot. Okay. What's just important about the bottom part is that we close off the lines so we can just color bucket fill to this. Everything outside of your cell that's not going to be seen or anything in the final render or something doesn't have to be drawn out that much. Like just for clarifying reasons or something, it would be good to draw it out, but it doesn't have to be like super detailed. Maybe it's okay. You can maybe just get away with drawing the silhouette, and if it's not even seen, right? The director would probably draw regardless, like a little bit over the thing. So it also gives options in case you want to maybe add camera motion or something, right? Do we give her? I'm gonna give her some how's it called? Some protectors for the arms. This is how I'm gonna call them. Protectors. Like Chun-Li. Stealing from Chun-Li's character design. So Chun-Li is not the only character who is that thing. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna. Oh, I just noticed I haven't been even drawing on the vector layer. So all this frame is actually a big fail. And I'm very sorry. It kind of misses completely the point of the stream. Gonna try to use vector layers for the next one then. Apologize. I didn't pay attention. That's one of the stressful parts of CSP, man. All these layers can be very confusing and a little bit overwhelming if you're in high spirits like me right now. Question is, how does you hold? Okay, you hold it like this. The hand also doesn't really need to be drawn that detailed actually because it's not seen in the final render, as I previously mentioned. I do draw it regardless because this is just how I roll. I want to have like finished images. Hey, this is every line for me is like experience. So this is free experience that I can take with me. So I'm going to do that. Man, that's such a weird way to put it though. Okay. I don't even know if this connection is actually correct, man. Shoulder's probably around here, and then she has like this very long, big forearm. But hey, doesn't matter. It's so fast in motion, people will not see. They won't realize. Just if they pause the frame, probably. Don't pause the frame, please. All right. I think that was already the lineup for the first layer. Almost. I know. Maybe I'm giving you some more little details real quick. Oh, the hand. I forgot the hand. And the protector on the other side. kind of rears the protectors to maybe block sword attacks or something. I think a boop is also very too small, because in the other frames it's a little bit bigger. Might want to stick with a certain size. I'm gonna try to very carefully erase on the parts. I think it's a little bit better. Okay. I'm just gonna draw like bandages on the left arm. Okay. Maybe some over here. Cool. We design our character as well, even though we don't even know how she looks like from the front. But yeah, this frame number 1. Just gonna show you what we created right here. So I'm gonna take this away. This is our first line art. Yeah. So this would be keyframe B1. Right? Now the question is, I had this idea that the trees are actually very big, right? And she's coming from below the tree, so over her would be, over her would be like still tree, right? Over here, kind of, if we'd say we look at this from a horizontal view, this is the tree, right? And she jumps from this tree, right? In this direction. But then the tree would actually have like this giant green space here. So it would actually also have like a big shadow. And what she's gonna do is like she's gonna jump so far that she jumps out of the tree's shadow. So what I think about is that the first frames are gonna be like all very strongly shaded. And maybe I have some little parts where a little bit light shines through. So there's like little pieces of light kind of coming through, right? So maybe have a little bit over here. Right? I'm just gonna make it a little bit one-sided, and then you know how like when the trees are like kind of thick, but then the light goes through the tree, through all these all the and the light goes through the tree, through all these how is it called my God, my English today is fucking terrible. The papers from the tree, man. These things. This is just the best way I can describe it right now. Okay, right? The light shines through, right? And then it's creating these little open spaces for the shadow, for the light to unfold on top on the surface of the character, pretty much. Right? It's like a lot of these. Whatever, man. Sometimes I just forget words. It's so terrible. And then when you stop streaming, every word comes back to you all of a sudden. Terrible. Yeah. The sword does have a reflection on it, so we want to have like a red part somewhere, right? And sword, right? Some light reflection onto it, regardless. Because if the light, I mean, yeah, it's just swords, and they can do this. Okay. So now we could shade in the after you also did the shading. The shading should probably can be done on the same layer actually. If you want to be more clean and more organized, I recommend to use the shade layer actually, not just like me. And yeah, but I'm definitely going to use the color layer here. I'm not going to do all. As you can see, I already messed up. That means somewhere is a hole. You could probably just use the bucket fill tool, close gap function. I don't want to use it too much, so I just close the holes mostly on my own. There's still one. I'm pretty much gonna do this now. So everything that's skin gets that color. I'm just gonna call it that color. Everything that's not skin, blue. This is how I shade pretty much. Some people would just use the color blue for everything. For example, Onsen, he does that. I don't know if he always does that, but he did do that on some of his work. I think Workreek also uses different colors. But there were probably times where you just use blue as well. Okay. Oh, I haven't decided yet if I want to have like more of these bandages on the bottom as well, or if I would just want it to be skin and then there's like shoes. I haven't decided yet. For reflection, we want to fill in with yellow. We can also have some reflection on the hair. Right? You know how they in anime they always have these reflection. Just gonna make this with a few red lines. Yeah, I'll keep it to that for now. The sword is very simple. I'm not gonna go too detailed with the sword here. I'm sorry, but it's just gonna take away too much time, and I don't want to invest that. I hope you're gonna understand. I mean, this is all just for showing off, pretty much, and I'll explain how things work. So, on this part, I still want to be like completely underneath the tree, and towards this or this frame, I want her to be slowly coming out of the shadow from the tree. Okay, makes sense, I guess. Okay, this time we're definitely going to use the line layer. I'm going to make sure that all the layers I'm on is the line layer. Okay, so of course our first drawing is always a keyframe. I think that's pretty easy to understand. What we're going to do now is this one could be, for example, an in-between guide. So it's not necessarily necessary to refine the in-between guide if it's actually fairly drawn. If it's drawn fairly well and actually works out. But since we actually changed a little bit on the cloth design, right, and a little bit on the I might just want to keep control over all the drawings. I can still refine the in-between guide. So in-between guides are marked with the triangle, pretty much. There's also in-between charts, but we're going to discuss that later. I mean, we already used in-between chart yesterday on this one, as you can see under my subview. This is an in-between chart, pretty much. Just like an arrow that points in one direction. And these small marks over here kind of tell the in-betweener how many frames they need to be drawn in between. And the timing will be kind of be on the timesheet later on, so they also know how to time them, right? So basically, you make the thinking for the technical aspects and gives them like good drawings they can work with, and they're gonna fill in the rest for you. That's the job of the in-betweener. Or for example, you give them like a good proportion, right? Like a good proportional, let's say, a good proportional in-between guide, right? And they're gonna clean up based on the previous keyframe. So if there's so much motion going on, it's okay if some of the in-betweens are drawn a little bit less good, right? Because people will not notice. I mean, if I would mess up this drawing, nobody would fucking care. If I start to mess up the drawings over here where the parts are getting more slow, it could be fairly troublesome because the character is so consistent on the same position that it might be that I actually want to keep the consistency. And that's also where I want to like add the most information, pretty much. Okay, so we could clean this up, but we don't necessarily have to. In case the director says, okay, man, cool that you draw these in-between guides, but they're useless, he might just say, okay, from this point to this point or something, just in between it, and he would just make this big in-between guide. And all these three frames that control your motion would be lost. Okay? So the more information you give and the more refined your in-between guides are, as long as the director trusts you and says that's fine like this, it's okay to refine them yourself, right? For example, I don't want to put this up again. In my Tacked Up Destiny shot, there's this one shot where she's actually fighting on the ground and there's like a changing camera switch with the smoke, right? The one shot with the smoke where where this monster comes out of the smoke and tries to swing her, but he just slices him up with the flip spin move. Over there, for example, I just went ahead and already cleaned up all the frames of the girl in the layout. And they said since the character is kind of small, in this cut, it's fine like this. The only thing I added afterwards was shading, and then I didn't have to draw anything. But I also drew fairly clean. Like the drawings were like the intention of the drawings were okay. Oh shit, yeah, bro. You guys wrote it all in the chat. Leaves, right? How could I forget the word? I don't understand, man. My brain. Chris thinks. Only things that can happen to me. Okay. All right. Now we're just trying to make this pretty. Trying to also take the frame as guide, but also trying to fix proportions here. Yesterday I already gave myself some indication that it should be a little bit more hair on this part when I filled it in filled in the silhouette with the lasso fill tool. So kind of giving myself advice already yesterday, giving some pointers that helped me to figure this out a little bit better today. How big is this thing over here? Ah, damn, it's fairly big. Just gonna do it like this. Okay. Cool. She had that little making a neck a little bit thicker. Now you can see how it can show you again how awesome this fucking vector eraser is and how clean you can get away these lines. Fucking awesome. I tell you, dude. And now I can just close them in with the vector correction tool. Don't have to even go back to the freaking pen or drawing tool. Right. So whenever you see this green thing right there, this is the vector like the correction or like line connection tool, pretty much. Okay. So whenever you see this green thing, real quick, line correction tool. Okay. Yeah. She's a fighter, so that's why she got these bandages. Bandages? Is that how it's called? Bondage. Ha. Very funny, Chris. Good humor. Okay. Hey, this arm, like this hand angle, man, that's really messed up. How about this one? You can barely see it because this thing is too fat. I don't know why I do draw these things. I think they just look cool. Maybe that's why. Should we give her some protective armor for the barbers? Nah. Extra effort. This is not FGO. Oh shit, Vietnam flashbacks. Honestly, if you want to work on FGO, sure, go ahead. But I don't recommend it. Honestly, one of the by far most complicated character designs I've probably worked with. The only thing that was at least as troublesome was with Witcher, man. This was at least as troublesome or even worse in terms of experience with amazingly detailed characters. Castlevania is also terrifying, but you can get away with a lot more simplification there, I believe. For example, if I look at Tamlu's work, like he had a lot of freedom, but he's very good at drawing Trevor though. So the faces were always on point pretty much, and he also has Sam to correct the faces for him, right? Like in case he would ever mess up. But I think he already can draw him. I think he drew him so often that he can probably just wing it while he's sleeping. Blue, man. This guy also improved so fucking fast, right? Just through Castlevania. It's insane. Big inspiration, this guy. Very cool. Okay, give me some sandals. Right. Why wearing anything complicated? this is questionable. I think the reason why this wouldn't work is because the angle of the foot is not so nice. Again, I'm connecting the lines with line connection tool here. Okay, oh, shit, man. This fucking foot pain. Nobody likes this. What you doing with this girl, Chris? If this cartoon character had a life, man, she'd be probably very pissed off at the way I would just do her feet. Maybe hair too big, but maybe it doesn't matter. Who cares? Over here, by the way, would be like an empty space. So what I would do is, draw the point, drag the line, say, all right, this is an empty space. That's why you draw the cross. Empty space. Yeah, you got to do that for almost any empty space you can find, right? When the lines are connected around it. So sometimes there can be a lot of crosses. When the character did that thing, how often do you do shadow and clean up the same time for splitting them up in different phases? I always draw shadow and clean up on the same layer. Actually, I'm lazy cunt, but I don't know if it's actually lazy or just making me more work. Sometimes I feel like it's even less work if I just split them up. But I can be more rough on Genga, on Japanese pipeline, so it's okay to draw it on the same layer. Just the coloring, like if you fill in colors, I would do that on the layer underneath. Okay. Maybe we want to have some, how some cloth have these, I don't know the name again. Gonna take away some ass. Sorry guys. I said this is anti-horny content on my channel. Sorry. This pose is just off, by the way, but somehow it works in the motion. Don't ask me why, but we can. I just leave it like this and hope this is okay. And hopefully this kind of makes sense in any way. Okay, this drawing feels even more off than the previous one. I gotta draw a face. I'm gonna give a big ace. Nope, not gonna do that. Maybe no face is okay because so many hairs are flowing around. Or maybe I'm just gonna draw the face regardless of what I'm saying. My hand doesn't listen to my voice. It's off. I'm just gonna do it like this. No ace. Yep, that's okay. Oh yeah, by the way, you can start asking questions now, by the way. Like just drop them whenever you feel like go ahead. Most of the time I will be just drawing at the moment, so there's actually not that much more content coming anymore. There's like not much more information. Just a few information here and there, maybe to the process. Most of it is already has been tackled, kind of. So yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead, ask them. We'll constantly check um, I will constantly check the chat. I don't know what it is, man. I think my microphone's just broken, but I don't understand why. It was all fine. I will make some tests someday and then gonna check if I can fix it. Or maybe it's just OBS. Got to change something on the settings. One, two. I'm gonna count. I'm kind of counting the lines here and trying to figure out to not mess up and not use too many or too little. I think Japanese people have an easier time to draw like anime and stuff because sometimes it's just really about using the specific amount of efficient lines, right? And something like that is might be easier for them because they're used to drawing kanji. And kanji really always, needs like these accurate lines that need to be put down carefully, right? I feel like that's why they have easier time to maybe even break down things into lines. But just a wild guess. It's just there's um I don't have any proof or anything for that. It's just something that I would think if we would logically speaking. But I don't have any proof, like even if that's the case. I mean, there are other people who are not Japanese, Chinese, or Korean who yet still draw very much in that direction and nail the style regardless. Yeah, oh yeah. I'm not one of them. I think my drawings are definitely not really Japanese. At least I don't feel like that. Maybe I'm just talking bullshit right now. Okay, is there any question? How was my day? My day was great. I like to watch Invincible, but I wouldn't work on it. I don't think. I don't think it's like my kind of cup of tea. Not big fan of. I have worked on American pipelines, but I don't know. I enjoy Japanese pipelines a little bit more. I think probably because of the freedom I have and the quality you can aim for. Yes, I'm definitely an Osama ranking enjoyer. Oh yeah, and if you ask me how my day is, I'm also asking how your guys' day is. So how you guys doing? Have you been alright? What do I think about TV Paint? Probably great software. I barely got any information about because I just used it maybe once or twice. So I'm not really familiar with the I'm not really familiar with the UI and the hotkeys and everything. They are all so different from what I'm used to. That's why it wasn't my software to get into. This is just a personal thing for me to explain things to you guys, pretty much. Oh, Theo. Wait, it's the other Theo. Actually, recently there dude, there's this funny story, man. Gotta tell you this. So Julie and me, we actually met another person who was called Daniel, pretty much. But he also somehow has Theo in his name, and I always thought that you guys are the same person, but that just wasn't the case. And when I talked to him on voice chat as well, it's like complete different voice. I'm like, maybe you just got like into into puberty, and then the voice changed. So stupid, man. I felt so fucking stupid. Oh, I'm so sorry about it. But yeah, pretty much that. How have you been, Theo Thomas? Hopefully you've been doing well, man, and you're still on the grind. I always use 1080p or like these HD resolutions for the studios. Um, yeah, and most of the time it's fine. Like you gotta imagine that even if your resolutions are not completely right, most likely your stuff is gonna be printed out, then it's gonna be corrected again, and it's gonna send to Doga, and Doga just doesn't give a fuck, man. Like as long like all the drawings overlap correctly, they will just probably clean up in the right resolutions. I mostly taught animation to myself and to communicating with other people, being around in communities, blah 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 blah, and spending lots of time on animation. It's kind of how I go. That's the wrong brush. If you wanna like see the journey I've been going through, just go through the videos on my YouTube, and you will see how long it took me to actually learn. It's like a diary. My YouTube channel is just a diary. Gives you a direction of how long it actually took and what I did to get there. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Or it's like a good answer. Over here in Germany are like no 2D schools, so you pretty much cannot learn in an art school here about this subject. Sadly, there's probably just one or two schools that kind of support this subject, as far as I know, or like universities. Um, my friend Ihabo, he's actually a German animator, and he's also like he's at the film academy in Stuttgart. Like he's at a university in Stuttgart where you also learning about film and all that stuff, right? Uh, just film and stuff in general. And he's actually doing a 2D animated short film, I think. One of the very few people who do that. I think Franziska von Wolfen is also at this university, and she's also doing something 2D animation related. Francisca also already has experience in Animate, or like already contributed to pipelines and worked on multiple shows. Very ambitious and hardworking girl, I believe. At least that's just how I got to know her. I don't like this. I'm gonna redraw this. This did a little bit better. At least a little bit better. So many good animators there out there, man. I got to know because working in this industry. Very thankful for that. So cool. I learned from all of them, kind of a little bit. Okay. Or you can still mess up a little bit without noticed. When there's big spacing, man, every frame could almost, like, as long the silhouette and some certain details is at the right place, you can get away. You could get away with so much. You can actually brain fuck other people really much. And then and then you're just drawing consistently on the very slow motion parts. They'd be like, "Hey, wait a second." I don't like. It doesn't even matter if I draw it this way or this way on these frames because she's moving too fast. It's basically not possible for your brain to make the connection fast enough from this one pose to the next pose by if she moves that amount of distance. At least not for the average viewer, because they're also just gonna experience the scene like how it is, right, in real time. While you, the animator, you'll keep looking at it over and over, and you will see all the shit you've been doing. But hey, we can get away with cheating, I guess. She gets very small hands. It's okay. I think it will still be fine. Not my best drawings, gotta admit. Okay, over here, like since she's moving quite a lot, those are like in between guides, so I will not add shading to them probably. I'm still gonna do this later on because it's my animation stream and I want this animation to look complete. So I'm gonna add shading. But yeah, for the in between guides, if you already draw this much, right, and all the details from your character, it's already more than enough. And you can maybe even keep control over the motion consistency of your scene much better, right? If you want to go the extra mile, that is. I think since she is slowing down over here, pretty much, this is going to be the next keyframe. I always use like 2 or 3 in-between guides, and then mostly the next keyframe. I always get lost in cleaning up everything, so it doesn't. Everything is pretty much becomes keyframes for me later on. It's a bad habit of mine. I, st- I still do a little bit too much. Return to the dojo. You missed the grindhouse. Hey Theo, man, if you still have my Discord, please hit me up, or please hit up any of the other guys that used to be on Grindhouse. I still gotten. Maybe we can get into a chat or something, or I don't know. Maybe it's a way, and we can catch up. What do I need to do work remote? What then do I need to do to work remotely for an anime show? Like how? Where do I apply? So the way I did it, which might not probably the most easiest, but the most this probably the hardest way. It's just I try to get better and better, and try to just create very strong works with the intention of working on anime, like even shading them, right? Kind of cleaning them up to some degree that it could be considered Genga, and yeah, then I just posted them on social media, and all of a sudden the PA started to approach me on their own. I think this way might be the hardest way because you don't actively reach out to people to or write applications or anything like that, but you wait until the point until people recognize your skill and whether you just would give you the job on their own, or like try to offer you the job on their own. um I believe if you get to this point, then you're kind of also ready, because then you probably have done already very ambitious works, maybe even created like a short and something that you spent like maybe a month on. That's pretty much what I did. Created a little fighting short and spent a month on it. But yeah, if you want to go the more less sabunga ultra hardcore way, you could uh you could probably still post your work online, of course, but maybe get in touch with, I don't know, uh you could try to reach out to the PAs on social media, for example. Some of them actually actively seem to look for people, but you also don't want to jump on them and all annoy them to give you a job. The best thing would be to be in a community which is kind of directed towards this topic, and see and ask other people how they got some jobs, and if there's a possibility for you to join, and how they think if you're ready or not. um yeah, it might take a lot of time until you actually reach that point. Needs a lot of dedication and all that stuff. Working on anime just like that just doesn't work. Or maybe it does. Who knows? There were very funny occasions. For example, my friend Sosola, uh, she actually worked on One Piece and other stuff. I think you also worked on Tact. Not sure. Did you work on Tact? Tact of Destiny? I think he did. But he, for example, he did personal projects, right? They kind of blew up as well. I don't know, like 10K likes, something. And yeah, then he just made a tweet like, "Hey, I'm looking for a layout job." And made the tweet in Japanese, right? And all of a sudden, he got like multiple retweets, and many like 20 or 30 PAs, something start to follow him all of a sudden, right? Uh, he also got quite a lot of offers, and I think this is also how he got the One Piece offer. I hope it's okay that I talk about this right now, and he's mad at me. I'm sharing his experience. But yeah, that's pretty much how it can go. But he really had actually had very strong layout works to to promote himself. He also didn't just start out all of a sudden. It took him some time to get there as well. There is unfortunately a kind of certain requirement for you to actually be capable or like be trusted enough to get some of that work. And that's kind of what you want to fulfill. Makes sense, right? So yeah, start your building your portfolio, man. As soon your portfolio gets in a certain direction, you will kind of see if you're ready or not. It doesn't matter. It There's no point thinking about work or getting work if you're not even in the position to. If you even just start out, right? If you start out, all these questions are just floating thoughts in your mind that might just confuse you or like just set you under pressure for no reason. So what's the point thinking about it when you know that you can't possibly do it right now? Right? You can think about it if you took your time and really appreciate art and animation and really love to do it and enjoy doing it, enjoy spending time on your own inside your head and creating your pieces or maybe be on voice chat with other people and friends online while you all animate something. Maybe then you kind of could do challenges with each other, to, for example, like a speed challenge, animating something in a certain amount of time, etc. Right? Kind of some of the things you should focus on for now, I believe, if you're still far away from the desired end goal or from the desired goal. Honestly, you will see yourself working on anime way faster than you can tell if you just enjoy creating and spend time on it. Enjoy learning, right? Things will just come on its own. You don't even have to chase it. At least that's the case for me right now. I really don't chase any job or any work. I think the only time I really made an application was this year for one job that I definitely wanted to do because there was this one director I certainly wanted to work with. Not gonna tell what it is though. Sorry. But yeah, usually I would probably just wait until I get the right request. Sometimes if you a certain studio, like a PA from a certain studio contacts you, and he offers you like a job for this one show you're actually absolutely not interested in, you can also just ask if you can work on another on like maybe another show uh, that they are producing. Sometimes maybe you're lucky and it works. For example, I think I got this one request from Mappa or something. I was like, no, I don't want to work on this title. And about this title, and they say, yeah, sure, we're gonna get you in touch. After like months, all of a sudden they came back at me, was like, oh yeah, we heard you wanted to work with us on this thing, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. They actually remembered. Then I worked on that thing, and now I finished working on that thing already, like last year somewhere. And what it is, I'm not gonna tell you. There's quite some stuff still that's still not released, pretty much. And I'm also working already on new stuff. So it's cool stuff that I've been working on. Trust me, you guys like it. I think. At least that's what I hope. What did I draw here? I gotta be so careful, man. If I just mention just one wrong title, dude. Big leaks. Ugh. Shut your goddamn mouth, Chris. The funny thing is, or like the cool thing is, there's so many good titles airing and coming out, and it's just getting. I feel like it's definitely getting better and better. Like there's definitely some interesting titles that came out in 22, 21, I think. And even if it's One Piece or something, I feel like people really try to really push the quality of anime again. But there's also so much in production that might some people might even not even notice, because there's also a lot of you know other stuff. I'm gonna call it other stuff coming out, that might not necessarily has a focus on that kind of animation quality, but maybe has super good storytelling instead. So many creators and mangakas that get their stuff, in an like created in an animated series. It's interesting. Even webtoons and stuff getting picked up, and manhwas are getting picked up. What's next? Oh yeah, I'm in Germany, by the way. Eagle Excel, and Indigo's German too. He's a very young guy, but has a lot of talent, and he works very hard and tries to get better. Maxi Anims, we all started at Shun's Dojo. Bro, I know what you're talking about. I feel you. Akebi Komichi. Wait, who's that person actually? Wait, now I'm interested. I'm sorry, it's the first time I've seen this name. I'm glad you come around and enjoy the stream though. Yeah, and the stream is going to be achieved. Oh, also good to hear that you're working on a project, Theo, man. Looking forward to work on Hello Xeros. Nice to see you here as well. We haven't talked in a while. And Glyphs, hello. Cool that you all come together here. It's been a while. Yeah, Velcro is pretty good. Velcro is pretty insane. Yeah, that's true. I'm just reading up if I missed a question. Is it unusual for Westerners to work on anime? Well, in comparison to all the Japanese people that work in this industry, a little bit, but it's becoming more and more spread. Like there's more Western, um, overseas people that just join this production and learn about this production, and even the studios make the effort to even translate storyboards for you, trying to communicate in English for you, getting even translators for you in the meetings. Like there's a big effort for the Japanese production where they just want to get in more people. I haven't directly worked with Bai JD. I just worked on the same titles as them. It's like titles I worked with on the same titles. Like for example, on this Camelot movie that I probably mentioned like a million times yesterday. Dojo will always have a special place in our hearts. Kind of. I'm not gonna go ever back, man. What the hell? Etchy stick figure teens, get away from me. This time is over. I don't want to remember. I know that I'm part of this, and I can't deny it. But if I can run from it, I will keep running. And if I have to run forever, this is just how it is. No, just kidding. I like Dojo. I like Hyun and all the others. They're cool people. Still, man, actually stick figure teens. It hits me too hard because I was one of them. Stay away from me, actually stick figure teens. Maybe someday there's gonna be not a zombie apocalypse, but there's gonna be an edgy stick figure teens apocalypse. And then they all trying to chase you and they all trying to force you to join their collabs. Join my ball collab. Join my obstacle course collab. Wait, are you challenging me to a dojo duel? What the hell? Let's determine who's the better stick figure fighter. Right? This is pretty much dojo in a nutshell. Dojo stick figure anime, etchy teens, superpowers, anime rip-off thing. Dude, Honestly, this is just how it is. Also, thank you. Thank you for coming around and joining my stream. I made it in. Oh yeah, mine's A. You actually commented on my tweet. Hello there. Could you go through optimizing navigation through your project quickly, such as how to set keyboard shortcuts for your timeline, zoom in, zoom out? I actually did that on the beginning of the stream. I kind of am gonna like all these um, hotkeys and stuff that I'm using within the process right now. I will put them in like one image file kind of, and I'm just gonna add that to the Dropbox links underneath this stream pretty much. Yeah, it's gonna be later on the Dropbox link, like all the hotkeys that I'm using, all the settings that I'm using, right? And I'm gonna add some more screenshots later and stuff. I'm gonna let if you're like a little bit patient, everything's gonna be there, right? I hope that's okay. I started on Flute Anims. It's crazy how far the community has come. Hey, yeah, dude, I was on Flute Anims too for like a very short amount of time though. I posted like maybe 2 animations and then never came back. Hey, sorry for not reaching out. I've been working on uni assignments. Glad I managed to come and stream this time around. I missed the last one, unfortunately. Yeah, don't worry about it, Therof. I'm pretty happy that you're still coming around once in a while and you still try to keep a little bit in touch, you know, and always spread your positivity everywhere, man. Always welcomed. How beneficial would knowing Japanese be? Super beneficial. First of all, you could read the storyboards, you could read the freaking notations, you could write notations. Um, it's like honestly, it's like a change of black and white. You can actually communicate with the people directly, and they can actually give you super nice knowledge or maybe information about what you want to know. And you can even have conversations with them. Like, how much better can it be? Just like at the moment, it's just for me. Sometimes it's kind of rough, but it's as well it's rough for the other person because he also has to try to speak in English, and I have to kind of try to not use too strong English. But the conversation still happens. It works, but if I would know Japanese, I could make the other person I'm talking to way more comfortable, and I would be probably much more of a bigger help to them as well, right? Some people, because some Japanese people, they are very scared and very nervous about using English, and I think they would feel more free if they could just communicate with you freely in Japanese. I mean, who wouldn't? If I would talk to you in German, I would just talk like I could, like I usually would, and that would make things so much easier. It gets time to keep scrolling by manually dragging the scroll bar on the bottom. Also, do you split longer animation projects into smaller CSP files for faster rendering and save times? Of course. Every cut basically is one file, because otherwise the files on Clip Studio Paint are just getting too big and the rendering time is going to take too long. The playback is going to be messed up if the file is becoming too big. That's why it's better to just go scene by scene. What you can do if you use like a brush that has like no texture and is very light, let's say, right? You can probably do big storyboards still in Clip Studio Paint to some certain degree. If it starts lagging, you might want to split it up in a few files, but you can probably do a lot in Clip Studio Paint in terms of storyboarding as well. Not the collapse. No, not the collapse. Join Doors 5. I'm never going to join Doors 5. You won't get me. Maybe someday. Stick figures still have a special place in my heart. With the ping pong call up almost as tempting as stick figure call up, bro. The mic makes this bit way funnier. I'm sorry. You inspired me to start animation. Hey, glad to hear that. Always nice to hear something like that. I'm glad I did, and I hope you have super much fun and you just enjoy animation. And you can let all your, I don't know, fantasies go wild and free, right? Let's go. Yeah, Active Frame, man, your name sounds very familiar, man. I think I've been seeing this. I'm just can't tell which. I just don't have any images of your animations on my head right now, but I think it might click if I just check your channel later. No, thanks for that. I'll be watching the whole video anyway. For study, thanks. Yeah, as I said, like I'm gonna try to summarize a few things, and just the first 20 minutes are like pretty much the tutorial. The rest is just me talking with you guys and pretty much starting to draw, right? The studios care about the software you use. Some do. Clip Studio Paint is widely available for many productions, though. For example, if you work for Japanese pop, actually software is kind of not that important. What's important is just that your drawings are fine, because most of the stuff is still getting printed out and corrected on paper. Just the traditional Japanese way. You have a lot of veterans that still work on paper and do the corrections and drawing on it. Have you tried learning Japanese at all? A little bit. I'm just not one of the people who will like try to, spend a lot of time to learn these kanjis and stuff. I have really troubles to just, learn vocabularies. It's so, it's just so flat boring. And you just gotta do it on repetitive. You just gotta do it on repetition so you can remember it carefully and correctly, and also utilize it correctly. Always great to see. Keep it up. Thank you. It makes everything easier. Like literally, you're working with a completely different count. Wait, what's he talking about? I'm learning Japanese right now. It's pretty fun. I feel like a real weeb now. Congratulations. Keep it up, man. If you finish with uni, you can even, and you're like doing somewhat decent jobs, man, you can probably move to Japan and get a work visa. That would be very cool. It's something I might not even get in my lifetime anymore. But I also don't really aim for it. That's why maybe you should actually pick up Japanese. I've been learning Japanese for like 1.5 years. I understand it pretty well now, actually, but not yet at a level that I'd be able to seamlessly communicate with anyone in anime production with it. It still will help you regardless, man. It's gonna be a big help. That's so cool that you learn it for yourself. That's good. Return to pivot. Never, dude. God damn, this community can die, man. To me, this community is dead, to be honest. I know some old veterans and stuff came back recently from Dark Demon, and they made like a Discord, and there's this super exclusive Discord just for people that joined the forum before 2010. I don't know, this very exclusive place. But yeah, the people there are like all like married now. Some of them are even reaching the age of 40. It's crazy, man. They really just hang out there and talk most of the time. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to make this 2022 a very good year, and I try to be a little bit more interactive with the community. I'm writing down the camera in Clip Studio Paint because it also helps me better to plan out the camera for the final comp later on. I mean, you gotta give guides anyways. Um, so yeah. Okay, I think we're almost through with all the questions, and I picked up with the chat, so I'll return drawing in just a second. Oh, you're working at Power as a storyboarder. Are you allowed to tell that? I suppose you are, right? That's so cool. Wish you best of luck, and hopefully it works out well. I'm glad they hired you. They must pay very well, so that's a very very good job. I'm pretty sure your girlfriend is very happy too, and she's probably happy that she gives you so much freedom and time to learn. Hey Yen, this is a question regarding mental health, work, toxic family, and learning to become an artist. How do you find a balance while studying appropriately and not wanting to blow your brains out? First of all, your name is kind of sad. You might want to change it. It's already starting on the little things. If you already, kind of see yourself as something you describe yourself, even if it's just on the internet or just for fun, there's some truth to it, or like you give it some truth, right? I'm pretty sure you're not a sad idiot though, so you shouldn't believe in that truth. Um, Mental health, work, and toxic family. It's fairly hard to talk about this because every life situation of a human is different, and every family, every friend sees things differently, and some might be very helpful to you. Some might give you exactly the support that you wish for, and some might just laugh about you and think you're delusional, stupid, because they don't see any logic behind the decisions or the ideas and the dreams that you have. I think the only thing that can keep your mental health together and, going into the direction you want to is just if you can swallow some of the things down and endure them, unfortunately. I don't have any better advice right now because it was literally the same for me, right? My family wasn't really toxic, but they also didn't really believe in the things I did until I proved them wrong, right? Another side, also, I've been doing a lot of shit and I had a lot of troubles with my mom, and sometimes we were not really even on the same. Other than most of the times, we had like stressful talks every evening, and I was also hanging out with some people that might not be very good for myself. Right? They always invite me to party, and I even had some circumstances where I was like having months where I just barely slept, and I would, like the guy who tries to educate me, would stand right in front of me, and I would almost fall asleep when he's talking to me because I was just so drained out from spending so much time with my friends and doing work and all that stuff. Life is just very exhausting, and if you can't enjoy what you're doing at work, for example, then it certainly is going to drain you even more out than it should. So if you got work though, you got a security, you got like some kind of thing to get back on. So even if all things fail and your plan doesn't work out, you can still go back to it and try over again and give yourself more time to learn or go towards the direction you want to go to. Honestly, I think the biggest risk for me was when I actually decided to become a freelancer because I didn't even got paid that much on the first jobs, right? And I didn't even got that many offers as well, and I wasn't even writing applications. But what I did was building, and that all that time that I've been going through this hell of a work and all these different fucking stupid jobs that I absolutely didn't like to do. Nothing even against the people, like it just wasn't for me. Sometimes some people were stupid too. I didn't like them, right? But that's just how it is. But it's not their fault, right? It's not their fault that I'm unhappy. It's my fault because I didn't pick up my things. So I took the risk, became a freelancer, and now look at me. I haven't felt that bad since haven't felt any that pressured or bad anymore since a long while. It takes time to change. It takes time to take responsibility for yourself, or to even get to the conclusion and to the realization that you have to take responsibility for yourself. But hey man, with every time you go to sleep and wake up, you got new chances. You got new opportunities. Every day can be a new chance for you to grow, to change, to do something, just to do things. And if you like to, I don't know, work with cars and build cars, or like even try to fix them up, or like even tune them, or whatever it is, spend your time doing that and become the greatest auto tuner after a while, because you just spend so much time having fun on tuning these cars. It's just, as soon you find something that really makes you like forget about all this fucking stress you have, or like something that just carries on and lets you just forget about time and let time pass by, you're in the right direction. And the rest is just you following this direction. Just keep doing this thing. And eventually you will find yourself in a super happy place because you start to take responsibility for yourself. I don't know, this is the advice I can give, right? It's definitely not that easy. It's not easy at all for nobody. Actually, nobody. Nobody's getting all of a sudden super good and getting in art school, getting a super good art degree, or getting hired by the best studios in the world just because this person exists, right? Like it's just the time and the thought you spend into something that you really truly like, and being true to yourself, that will bring you into the right direction. Okay. I think that's my answer for you. I haven't get the new book from Yutaka Nakamura yet. I actually didn't order it at all. I've got some books of him, but I also didn't ask anyone to get it. Sometimes I would just ask on one of the PAs or something who live in Tokyo, and if they can send me it over. This time I didn't want to bother them. You also don't want to exploit it. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm like, maybe I'm not gonna ask them. Maybe I'm just gonna hold myself back this time. Tofu. Wait a second, my cat is screaming. I think she's hungry. Nah, it's cool. Not necessarily sucks. For some people, it's exactly what they need. For others, they don't even know why they are there. How much you get paid for on average as freelance studio animator? If I get a normal decent salary, actually, like the usual worker over here in Germany, I'm average pretty much. I could probably earn more though, like if I wanted to, if I just take the right jobs. But I choose education and fun over money. That's just how I am. That's why I don't take too many jobs that take too much time. Not time, but I don't take too many jobs that are like just super boring in their pipeline, but give good pay regardless. I sometimes I get paid a lot. Sometimes I get paid little. Depends on how I negotiate. To be honest, if I would negotiate better, I could probably also get paid better. And I'm working on it. That's definitely something. Now I start to slowly feel confidence in what I can do and what I do. That I feel like the thing I can provide actually truly have some value to them. So I'm also trying to negotiate for that. But I also have to live up to the expectations I negotiated. Like if I tell them, hey, I'm a good animator, I want to get paid good, they also want to see something good, right? So you got to work even harder. But sometimes it's very motivating that way. So yeah, if you want to know how much an average person over here in Germany gets paid, you can just Google that. Well, this hit deep, especially given the time I beat myself out working on it. Yes, I'm streaming 2 days in a row. Same as my. Thank you for your answer. You're welcome. Okay. I'm on Zora. I believe you were the guy who called himself Sad Idiot. Oh no, wait, you're not the guy. You're the guy who asked for the monthly payment. I hope Sad Idiot got a good answer though, and he is not Sad Idiot anymore, and he is now, I don't know, a motivated dreaming guy or something. That would be like maybe a better name. Okay, let's keep drawing. Wait a second, I gotta give some food to my cat first, and then I'm gonna continue drawing, taking a little 5-minute break. Okay. Let's see. Actually, okay. My microphone didn't disconnect. Nice. I saw it disconnected, but it didn't. That's pretty good. Let's draw back. I'll go away in between guide that wasn't necessarily that. Okay. The drawing is not very good, but I guess just gotta work with it. It's very small leg. I think it would be better if we start to increase the length a little bit. So I'm gonna pick this part. We should pull it down. This is how it is. This is how it has to work. Rest is really just drawing actually. And that's like the most boring part. Like there's not much more to it. Rest is just drawing carefully. Trying to draw carefully, clean, having like readable shapes and all that shit. Question: is this arm now in front or behind? Should probably be in front. Oh no, what a giant mess. But hey, Vector Eraser isn't gonna save me. Doesn't matter. And all the wacky lines I have right here, you can just get away with the vector, with the connection tool. Cool. Cheats. X. Most forgiving tool, I tell you that. Helps you to really fix and save your shit. Um, it's becoming a little bit harder to figure this out because there's actually some slight head rotation now starting to go on. So I'm trying to animate that one first to make the right connection here. Mm. So probably from this to this frame gonna be all in betweens. There's like really slight motion just going on, right? And over here, this frame over here, will be new keyframe 9 in this case. Down the other ones. Did I actually finish all of them? Okay, I have one more keyframe over here to be honest. I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I think this one would rather be the keyframe. This one, to be honest, because there's like not much difference between these frames, right? Could be something. Yeah, I think this one should be an in between step. Because there's not much of difference. I'm a little far away right now. Okay, hopefully you put down. You zoom in, you will see how like some of it becomes a little bit wacky. You could probably get away with simplifying even more. Might even need to draw the hair strains out and shut up much. Probably just the silhouette of the hairs is enough. As I said, if things move quite fast, you can get away with simplification a lot. Or with wacky frames, I like to call it. Oh, connect them. That's the only problem sometimes. Try to connect them. It doesn't always want to do what you want. Fuck. Can fix it by going over the line though. Hopefully. Well, it doesn't fix it for me right now. I'm just gonna stick with the very big black thing. Sadly, it doesn't fix it. Sometimes it does, but since it's so small, I think it's just a little bit easy to figure out. It's not that easy to figure out for the software. Shoulder is doing things. We don't talk about the shoulder here. First rule of the shoulder club, you don't talk about the shoulder club. Now I could even, since it's just like disappearing in the next frame, like I could have all the other frames like draw like the bandage is super random again. It still would kind of make sense, you know. Face shape is also changing a lot. Obviously, I would probably have to redraw it to get it done correctly. It's because all the lines overlap a little bit. Unfortunate here. So, always, this is one thing. Uh, these belts or whatever it is, man. Everything that's like around the hips, dude. I feel like it needs extra attention when you animate it because you can mess up the consistency on that part so easily. And it's like moving up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down from frame to frame. It's especially noticeable on the belt part most of the time. So yeah, try to keep your belt in touch and focus and see how it kind of moves and in terms of spacing and shit. Belt tips, whatever. Uh, no S. No. It's gone. Everything we've worked for. The S is gone. Everything we worked for. I'm working for studios, and I'm a hobbyist too, but I'm working mainly for studios. Annette, hello, welcome to stream, by the way. How do anime studios have such crisp lines? I have presets defined. Yeah, vector lines keep quality if you zoom in and zoom out. And I think they're using this one software. It's called again. What's it, can't remember the name again. God damn it. This one software they use. What software was it that they use? Rita's Studio. Rita's Studio. That's the thing they use. So tie downs, it's pretty okay. To explain, layouts are pretty much the rough draft of an animation. So it's like sketches, gestures, and all that stuff. While Gengas are pretty much refined drawings. You already have very refined key drawings, and some in-between guides. And that's pretty much the same as tie downs. Tie downs, you also have like keyframes and in between drawings and all that stuff, right? And oh, yeah, Rita Studios is the software. I also need to be a little bit more quiet again. My brother wants to sleep. So stream is also not going to be going on for that long. Probably going to stop streaming in like an hour. I'm just going to see if we can maybe get at least the last drawings down. Gonna pump them out in a bit. Let's see if we can pump them out, so we at least have some result. Maybe I'm gonna upload the final thing some other day, or maybe I'm just gonna finish it later for myself. Do this for some of the evening, a certain time. I'm still awake for a long time, so actually, yeah, let's try to wrap it up. Wrap it up over here. I mean, as you can see, Genga itself already takes a lot of time. You really want to spend your time drawing it very carefully and clean, right? And yeah, it could have been probably much faster if I didn't talk so much and focus on the chat. But I think it was still important to talk about. So yeah. If you have any questions, let me ask them right now, and we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna post the finished thing later on, then on Twitter probably just, and put the finished file later on in the Dropbox folder. But that could take some time. Okay, I probably might take a few more hours. Yes, I have a different CSP file for every different shot. That's already has been asked before today. I think Retas is a good software. I never tried to figure it out, but I might want to try it. Making a whole storyboard for a whole song, holy shit. You might want to split that up then. Like the files, it could become very heavy file anyways. You can't zoom out enough. I can zoom out very far. You can also zoom in very far. I don't know. You can even see the pixels. Right. In that time, it shouldn't be a problem. Just don't use a textured brush if you draw your storyboards. And be careful to not use too many frames or too many painted effects. And if you do, split up your clip into multiple files. What is the best way to color split shadows and highlights? Because won't you need to retrace the same line and accidentally draw outside? Yeah, in Rita's studio, they're just gonna trace over your shadows on the Doga. And when they do Doga, they just trace over your drawings anyways. And then the color split is basically blue. Wait a second. Blue for shadow. I use this orange kind of color, skin color, to describe the shadow where the shadow of the skin is. That's why I use that, and I use red to describe and fill it in with yellow to describe highlights. Okay. You can't see the whole animation timeline at once. Of course not. If your file is like multiple minutes long, dude, it's not possible. You can just zoom in and zoom out to a certain degree, but even if I mean that cell's also becoming way harder to click on as well. So my one might not even want to zoom out that much. That's why CSP is mostly for animation, for small storyboards, pretty much. Otherwise, just split up the song into different bits, into different sections, and then make the storyboards. What studio have you worked for, and what's your favorite studio to work for? I've been working for many studios. Studio Me, Studio Wit, Studio Cloverworks, um, Toei Animation Studio. I did a little bit of work for Studio Bones. I did some work for IG Productions, A1 Pictures. What else? I think I got like all the big ones, or like most of the very famous ones already. I also worked with Mappa, Metas, pretty much. How much could you mess up on the first job before they drop you? If they're very insecure about your work, what you do pretty much, and you seem to be hard to deal with, they will probably just give you test cuts. So you can probably mess up super hard. You can do everything wrong. They will just let someone else do your cut. In case they give you a chance and they're very, very careful about it. Will I ever do a passion project? For sure, man. That's one of the plans for this year. Definitely. That's definitely what I'm gonna do. Not sure if I'm gonna how it's gonna turn out. I'm gonna try. I was actually 22 when I got my first job, Tom's. So pretty much same. Oh no, not even. I was older. I'm 28 now. I was around 22 when I started to learn to do animation. Yeah, 21, 22. That's where I started to actually teach myself about all this stuff. So yeah, it's still not too late, I guess. I also know some people that actually joined the industry with 30, so never too late. Yeah, uni, you can fail that if your if your decision is to become an artist. You can become a good artist just solely by being on the internet. It's not easy though. But hey, if you put yourself out there, got some decent drawings, start slowly with commissions, test animations, a lot of practice, give yourself time to practice and invest a lot of time into it. You can go hard, man. And yeah, Maxi Anims shows you the way, man. He tells you. Coming from a video, I have to learn this background now. Let's see. What's the average pay for a new Leo artist from Twitter and YouTube? Well, most of the time they would like offer you payment from 2,500 yen to 5,000 yen for layout. 5,000 yen is already kind of a good deal, but if they can offer you that much, like, and it doesn't matter if they offer you 2,500 yen or 5,000 yen, if you're just in for the learning experience, right, you can take that. But I do not recommend taking that because there's so much on it, like little payment to many people that just straight up not negotiate and they just take the low payment, right? They're just in for the experience and just trying to learn. But if we want to make a change in this industry, we gotta negotiate, especially because we are also living in different countries and have lived different life circumstances. We need different amount of money to actually, sustain ourselves. So what you want to do is you're gonna try to probably negotiate for at least 7,500 to 10,000 yen for the first jobs, I would say, for layout. If they actually, you know, if they think it's too much, they might try to negotiate back and maybe make a good deal. But try to aim for higher pay for sure for the first jobs, even if you mess up and stuff. Just tell them straight up that it's just what you need, man. You need that money to sustain yourself. So, yep. Very good payment for layout if you have like decent amount of experience is around everything over 15,000 yen. That's like for very good ones, very good animator, just for layout, right? 15,000 yen just for layout is massive amounts, actually. Imagine you get like, for me, this is around 130 euros, and I make like a layout. If it's an easy one, probably in between 2 to 5 hours, say. And if it's a super simple one, sometimes I just need 30 minutes. Okay. So let's say you can manage to make like 2 cuts a day. That's super good payment to 260 euros. Yeah, then you'll also be got to be fairly good that you get paid this much, right? I did hear from other people that some of them negotiated up to 40k yen, the 40,000 yen for Genga and layout together, so 20,000 yen each. But these people are like already for way longer time in this industry than I am, so I suppose they already have enjoy some certain kind of reputation that they can negotiate that much. But yeah, big tip that's gonna help you to win. Try to negotiate already right away. But also do your best, man. Make it worth it. 2,500 is definitely too low. That's just the standard price. It's just the standard price because it's like they use this price. You gotta imagine you're like some kind, and they treat you like some kind of internship. Like you're some guy from an internship. They pretty much educate you and pay you for it. And that's why the first jobs are also paid so low. You're getting paid in experience most likely. And I mean, if you already have some experience or like Western experience or something, and you really just need to sustain yourself, you got to tell them though. If you can like communicate and negotiate with them, you might be even to get at least increase the price to like double or twice or triple, and that's fine. Then the payment should be okay for the first jobs at least, for sure. I actually took the jobs with 2,500 yen per layer, right? I actually took those, and I also started out with those because I was just in for the education, and I just wanted to learn. So I don't think, in a sense, that's too much of a bad deal, but in it's bad in the way that we do not raise the prices if we don't negotiate for them. And unfortunately, since there's like no onion, like no animator onion or something that can actually, go against it, every animator has to do it individually for himself and, get the money for himself and see what works. Hope that makes sense, right? Hope that's a good answer. Okay. Getting to my level by the age of 28 is possible for sure. But even if you don't, man, if you like manage to get like still a decent level, doesn't fucking matter, right? At least you can get some jobs and some money. Um, I do have a Patreon server that you can access for just $1 a month, €1 a month. So if you look for a community, it's also very active there. A lot of cool people there, a lot of nice people there, very kind and supportive people. I'm very thankful for all of them, honestly. I'm trying to help you out there too. I'm giving a lot of responses. I'm giving feedback. Everything on that server. Like that's probably the best thing. You gotta invest €1 a month though. So I apologize. It's a few. I don't know, whatever. Like maybe that's still a soft drink less in a month that you have that you can afford. Uh, Mm, Sorry for the question again, but how did you ease into drawing 14-hour week back when you were learning that? What was your game plan? I tried last year, Sigma, but procrastination is a bitch. This game plan is actually easy. Um, First of all, procrastination happens through overthinking. So it's not the problem that you don't think. It's just a problem that you think so much that you don't stop. So what you're gonna do is first thing in the morning when you wake up, sit in front of computer, start it right away, and start to draw something. Like first thing you do is always opening the software right away. Open the fucking drawing software and already start to draw at least, I don't know, try to start to draw at least one character or like one face, right? As soon you made that step and make it become a habit to do that every fucking day, you will start to see your time increase so fucking much, like in terms of the time that you put into drawing, and it's actually starting to baffle you because you'll be surprised how much you can actually draw all of a sudden. You just gotta, develop that habit step by step. Another thing you could do, not sure if it's gonna work, but I hear about the 3-second rule. If you lie in bed, for example, you can't get out, count to 3, and on 3 you just get up. So apparently it should help your brain to, overcome like the sort of procrastination because you don't give your brain time to think. You just say 1, 2, 3, and you get up. And it can help to break probably through some of these walls that you have in your mind. Fairly simple, maybe it works for you. Maybe it works for you. Like if it does work for you, though, I'm very happy that it does. But yeah, the other thing is just get up, start to draw. Make yourself aware about what you want to do, what your aim is, what your goal is. Write it down, man. Write it down. Write down what you want to achieve. For example, what you want to draw, what you want to animate. Like bring your ideas to life. Every time you don't draw on a day, or every time you procrastinate, think about how much painful it would be for your characters to not come alive because you let them wait, right? Your world will never reach anyone. Like your world would never even reach yourself because you never invest time in it. So what you actually just do is you just run away from yourself. That's all what procrastination is. Stop running, man. Turn around. Oh, this is a good answer. How do you animate slow motion? Would you do many at once or twos? I would probably use threes or twos, but then have like very little spacing. So that means the distance the cell is moving from one position to the next is very small. And that's how you create a steady pace. And then the distance also always needs to be the same. That's how you animate slow motion. Kind of did that over here. Right? You can see like how the sword is just very slowly moving. Wait a second, I'm gonna turn the image a little bit. This is another dude, by the way. I have to clean him up too. The fucking rough of him are terrible. So I know. Hopefully, I'm gonna pull out some cool drawings later. You will probably not see that. Okay. Are you aware about support group called Animatodometry? Yes, I've been also supporting and investing money into that actually. So I'm actually supporting Animatodometry. I think it's a good thing. Are Japanese animators negotiating too? Yeah, probably. I mean, they have to. They also need to, you kind of pay rent and stuff. And if you live in Tokyo, it's fucking expensive. So they have to kind of earn enough money to live and sustain themselves. So they have to kind of negotiate and work themselves up. It's just that in Japanese, it's a work culture. So you really want to, build up that, you need to build up your reputation. It's just how it is. And I mean, if you want to be good at a job or like earn much in a job, you need to grow with your responsibilities and with uh, with your skills pretty much. And accordingly to that, people might as well, give you better payment in the long run. I'm probably going to get into your server. Sure, go ahead. As I said, it's just very little payment, but you're getting something out of it. The server is great, I think. Everyone is, as I said, very helpful, very kind. They are very active. They're really trying to improve. I've seen some good improvement. You can even ask for personal feedback and stuff like that. I'm trying to help whenever I can. I will pay more attention though to the people who also pay more, but it doesn't mean I will ignore anyone, right? Just because he doesn't pay enough. That's not how it works. I will try to help anyone regardless of how much he pays. It's up to you on how much you want to support me anyways, right? And if you think it's worth to support me $10, then you support me $10. But if you think it's worth to support me just $1, then you support me with $1. But it's support regardless, and I'm just thankful for that. So I appreciate any support, and I'm trying to give back something to it for sure. This is just how I am. I'm always trying to give as much as I can. It's just how I am. Actually, many artists don't know how to negotiate properly. That's true, Maxi. Yeah. Listen to Maxi. He brought it on the point. The 2-minute rule. Wait, the 2-minute rule doesn't work. Just the 3-second rule, okay? Got this man using bad words, demonetized. I'm not even monetizing my videos. Goodbye, Shiranui. You tried to destroy me, but I can't be destroyed because I'm already destroyed inside. It sounded so edgy, man. I feel like a stick figure animator again. Yeah, as soon as you start drawing, everything starts to just work by itself. You might hate the first drawings. The first drawings are just maybe random stick figures that have sex, but it just part of the process. It's part of the improvement, right? And the studies, right? I mean, what are gestures? Gestures are just stick figures too, man. So if you draw naked sticks, and in the end, this is what life drawing is. Many people practice life drawing just to get back on topic. Oh yeah, okay. Some people call it 5-second rule. Some people call it 3-second rule. But yeah, this thing actually maybe it works. I think if you believe in it and if you really utilize it for yourself, it can work. Got deep there for a moment. Why is Yen? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just talking my mind. Sorry. Like become a drawing heroine addict. Take care of your old body, though. A lot of wisdom today. Much appreciate. This stream gets deep from time to time. Love it. You're welcome. I started to do around 20, so hopefully can catch up one day. I loved your work on Tucked. How did you find the show overall? I don't know. Had many good moments, I think, but plot-wise, it was boring. Very boring, I think. I liked the designs though. It was pretty anime. Mr. Onsen is definitely good at negotiating, but he's also directing and doing all the kinds of stuff. He's doing Sakan, animation director, everything. He already got experience in all of that, right? So that's why he can negotiate so good. He's pretty much his own director at this point. Strong value for this industry. Stop running, man! I'm crying, bro. Yeah, your tears are running from your ears, bro. Tell your tears to stop. Stop running away from me. Get back into your fucking ears. Animation companies will always lowball your salary. I mean, this is just how companies work, right? They want to save. I mean, they also want to make money, in the end. So obviously, they try to hire you for as low as possible. In the end, you could say you just support the studio if you take low payment, but maybe not. Maybe not supporting the studio if everyone gets low payment in the end, right? So negotiate, man. Negan and Genga. Negan and Genga are almost the same. Negan is just it's done by someone else pretty much. Like someone else is doing your second key. That's what Negan means. Genga is just if you do everything yourself. Like if you do layout and the second key pretty much. How much you charge for it? The same I would charge for layout probably. That's just how this industry works. Awesome advice. How long will you be streaming? Not that long anymore. I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream within the next 10 minutes. I'm just trying to catch up to all the questions right now. I'm trying, but can't find Discord link on your channel. Of course not, because the Discord link will be sent to you if you support me on my Patreon. It's the only way to get to it. Where should a beginning animator look for starting jobs? First of all, as I said, try to build up a good foundation before you even consider it. But if you think you got that foundation and you spend enough time practicing and all that stuff, then I recommend looking out on Twitter, looking in the bios of other artists and stuff, and maybe even reach out to them personally. Another thing you could do is writing mails to studio you want to apply for. If there's like a certain studio you really want to work for, you maybe can even try to go for an internship first and see if it works out with you guys. And maybe they are actually teaching you the pipeline then and everything in that time, and then they're trying to hire you in-house or full-time. So applying definitely works. Through social networking, pretty much like building social media, getting in touch with other people. That's also how you can get jobs. Like there's many jobs I could probably go for if I would just reach out to the right person, and they will always be open for me because they're just like me and I like them, and we just get along. So there's so many cool people that I really want to work with, but there's just so little time that it's not possible to work with all of them. It's very sad sometimes because then they're like coming in the they're coming like one day late or something, and then they're like, oh shit, yeah, really sorry, I already got something else now, and then I don't know, some other job or something get cancelled, and yeah, then you didn't think about contacting that one person, and then you're already in the next one. Kaiba, I heard about it. I think it's something I will consider watching. I haven't tried it yet. I one of my internet friends always really likes it. Also really likes it and told me it's very good. As someone who only pays €1, get way too much value in for €1. Thank you, man. Yeah. Oh, hey, drawing like a sir, by the way. And hello, Uni. Thank you for coming around. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream and listening. And sure, yeah, the stream is gonna be up later. Take your time. This stream is mostly just talking. There's not that much animation actually. I'm sorry. The other one has more animation. The previous one, but this one is more educational. It's more like really trying to getting into the right direction, answering questions, uh, explaining a little bit how Genga and stuff works, labeling work. We didn't do the timings and the timing shot and stuff. But I think for most of you guys who are just animating straight ahead, I think this is already valuable enough for now. For time sheets, maybe time charts, maybe we can do that on another stream. But yeah, for now, I think just cleaning up efficiently and stuff already is already very important info for most of you guys, and just utilizing the right tools at the right time, pretty much. Yes, doing sports is always good. Keep your body in check. It's good for your back as well. €1 is super cheap. How do you know I always start with sequence having sex? I'm speaking, obviously I'm talking from experience, Mr. Swing and Titties. It's a good name. It's pretty funny. Just read the Patreon. We'll ask my mom to give me some money to join. Yeah. Tell her it's for a good cause. It's for educating yourself. And in the end, you end up at Bunny Walker. €1 stays cheap, but like €10 is too much for Brazil. Shit starts to get real. Oh yeah, I'm definitely not forcing anyone into it. Just forcing yourself to do things into built habits. Yeah, sometimes it's just that we're so controlled by landing into these cycles, in that we like. I mean, it's good to be repetitive and having like a balance and like a routine, right? But there's things that we don't want to actually repeat, and that's like the habits, so like that little dirt on your jacket you just don't want to have, man. You want to have your jacket clean, and but you're also too lazy to wash your jacket. So what you gotta do? Obviously, you're gonna wash it, and just bringing yourself to washing it is already like such a freaking how to say challenge. Just getting to the point that you like do the thing. Sometimes it can take ages. Sometimes it also can take a long time for your brain to actually understand certain things, or like understand certain habits. But yeah, forcing yourself is definitely a way. Just start drawing. Just start drawing. That's the only thing you need to think, and then use your pen, put it on the freaking tablet, and move it around. Do more things with your pen as well. if you like, for example, have a tablet, or something like a screen tablet, use your pen to go through the websites. Maybe use your pen to even write. Use it as much as you can, man. Let it become your new mouse, and you'll probably be fucking drawing addict by the end of the next year or something. I think the character designs were pretty top and tucked. Really fun to look at. Could be a challenge to draw some, but how do you experience? I think it was decent. Yeah, I think the character designs were okay. Just the face, man, and the freaking flower on the head from that one girl with the, I don't know what that was, man. God damn. I just copy pasted that shit. I didn't draw this too much. How many times a day do you streams? I don't stream often. I stream every every once in a while. Every once a month, twice a month, maybe. Like every 2 months, probably. On average, I'd say. I don't stream that much. I'm not a big streamer. Actually, I feel very uncomfortable with streaming because I'm I don't like I don't like to be that much of a center of attention. Uh, yeah. Talking is fine too. Hearing your opinions on different topics and wisdom you share is definitely awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you think so. Don't really get to see creators' perspective that often. I'm just straight up to the point. About to subscribe, get ripped off. Where's your Patreon and your Twitter and your savings account? My Patreon is in my description. It's gonna be probably in the description of the stream later. Twitter as well. Sure, no, you know me for ages, bro. I'm pretty sure I've used to hang out, and you used to hang out at Grindhouse and stuff. I even remember some of your animations still. But yeah, if you come around, I'd gladly welcome you. Looking forward to see you in my Patreon in case you come around. Seriously, so I was gonna drink myself to death on New Year's again, but this time, thanks to you, I feel like I can make it. No more running. Yeah, you're not a sad idiot, bro. Don't call yourself that. You're probably a very cool guy, but you just don't know it. Sometimes it's hard to love yourself. I think it's probably one of the hardest challenges in life. Just liking yourself, being happy with what you do. But think about it. You're the only one that's getting caught up in a set that's actually probably seeing yourself like you really are, right? And the rest will never know what you think, what you do, how much time, effort you spend into something until it's happening, right? Until it happened, then they will change their mind about you, and then then they will see how cool you can be, probably, and they might be inspired too, and then they think you're awesome, and then you're happy that they think that you're awesome, and then you will be friends, and you have cool times, and you're gonna be happy. Yeah, man, there's some of the designs in Animate tell you, bro. The flower is one of the things you just don't want to draw. It's normal for your animation to look super cool fuzzy when you play it within the clip file. It looks fine when it's paused. Depends on your settings. Uh, you go to playback settings, play in real time, and I prefer speed and render before playback. And then actually the quality, I press play now, should be decent. Yeah, you can clearly see the lines. Everything is okay. Maybe rendering for playback and stuff, and that's the trick. Oh, this is gonna look cool, I think, if I can actually clean this up completely. I'm gonna surprise you later, guys, on Twitter. I'm definitely gonna work on this later if I'm done. No, I draw hair on the same layer. And cloth too. I for most of my sketches I don't even draw the hair, like the cloth or something. Like I maybe draw a few lines in there, but also, hey, Waterzen, haven't seen you in a while too. Are you still struggling with animation? Sometimes you're gone forever, and sometimes you're randomly back, and then you probably have spent most of your time playing Super Smash Bros. If I recall it correctly. I haven't been using the cat pen for a while. Might gonna use it some point again. Do you know if those hentai studios ever outsource to Western animators? I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, there must be credits at the end, right? Might want to check those out. Wonder if the people are going uncredited on this though. Imagine you could see like some super crazy great entire scene with weight and all that shit, and it's like Toshiyuki anywhere where he goes uncredited, and you will never find out that it's him. As far as I know, this is one very crazy sequence. Wait, am I still live? Yeah, this is one crazy secret from Mesofortis, it's called. It's like some kind of OVA, and they didn't have enough money to produce their like thing, so they tried to make more money by adding hentai and stuff to it. And then I know, super great animation, super quality character designs. Gotta say that. Honestly, hentai Sakuga. It was even on Sakuga Blue for quite a while, and at some point they just deleted it. Hey, yeah, I just want to say you're one of my biggest inspiration. If it wasn't for you, I would be a lot worse at animating. Thanks, bro. You're welcome, bro. Glad I could help. And glad you think though. Always appreciate these nice comments. You don't know how much these little comments always mean to me, man. Even if I don't react to them or anything like that, I always see them. Trust me, I always see them. And I'm so happy that so many people like just give me these positive feedbacks. It's so surreal for me. I'm just one of the people who sit in his room all day, drawing, trying to communicate with the outside world. So I'm very happy. Thank you so much. How do you get into Zeti? Shut the fuck up, man. This is definitely a joke question. Uh, no, actually, but if you were asking seriously, I just knew Kazuma in Zucchini Juice. Zucchini Juice was actually a pivot stick figure animator and has been knowing me for like a long while already from the Dark Demon days, before we even meet at Tune's Dojo. And at Tune's Dojo, people slowly came together, and this is also where actually the Zeta Absolute happened. And since Kazuma was German, like we're talking German too, it was pretty chill to get in touch with him. That was very cool. Uh, yeah, Kazuma and Zucchini just then created the server, and yeah, I was one of the people who joined pretty early on. I think not one of the first ones, but pretty early on, for sure. Uh, I've been seeing a lot of your work recently, man. It's very motivating. Thanks, man. Yeah, I still believe. Oh yes, yeah. No, I remember because you were streaming it on Twitch, right? I don't know how I can remember that. I remember it. I think I just liked watching Super Smash Bros. Just a good game. I think it was Melee, right? You played Melee, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Was it? Or was it already Ultimate? No, I'm pretty sure it was Melee. Oh yeah, I'm glad to see you back into animating, man. I wonder if you're ever gonna utilize your freaking skills, bro. I think if you had some consistency in creating your works, you'd be probably working on anime by now. What is in, honestly. Oh, that's so kind. Thank you, Kim. I'm trying to be as chill as possible, and I'm always trying to be open for everyone. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, how you look like, what you do, what kind of preferences you have. It doesn't matter what skin color or what sexuality you have, or like what fetishes you have. I don't fucking care. I don't even care if you killed a person. And if you're kind to me, I'm kind to you. That's how I am. I'm not someone who is in a position to judge another human when every human is equally valuable. I, how long did it take to you to just learn digital? Any extra tips for it? It actually worked quite fast. I think it was because I learned Maya before on a private school and for 3D, and on Maya you kind of use almost the whole keyboard somehow. If you use it's fucking crazy, man. Wild software, and yeah, then I got pretty easily used to the interface and of Macromedia Flash. And after a while, after figuring out a few things and looking for some tips and tricks and watching some streams from Andy and Gareth and Wellin and Gazu and listening to other people like Hero, uh, I've picked up many tricks, tips, and techniques on the software and got very familiar and comfortable with it by also actively using it. Fits my like work's paper on paper is leagues ahead at the moment. Thanks for the tips, man. It will adjust, man. What you learned on paper can be also utilized on digital and the other round. Can't maybe use as many tools on paper, like Control Z, for example. Undo unfortunately doesn't work on paper. Undo is a very cool tool, definitely. Or like Lasso fill tool would be cool too. But there's probably other ways to work around that and be efficient and very clean on paper too. I think if you have very good draftsmanship, you're very good. You've been drawing a lot on paper. I think most people who draw very well can also draw very well on paper. Like the ones with the very accurate lines. I mean, what's the point, What's the point of turning someone down or being like aggressive or I don't know, unfair to that person, right? Why would I do that? I do have a weird humor though, and I always feel like I'm stressing out other people somehow, and I feel like I'm like super not chill. But hey, everyone perceives me in a different way and thinks about me in a different way. Maybe some people think I'm very crazy or very cool, very great, or like impressive because they did my own thing. But I don't see myself this way. For sure not. I He used to stream on Twitch TV. Um, I think his name was Xenophos on Twitch TV, and I think there might be still some clips. If you like, check out the clips and then put the time to uh, 2 years or something, or show all clips, you might still find some actually clips from the streams. They might not be that long though. So, but just in terms of roughs, you can get so much out of it. Like I observed a lot of whaling, and I gotta tell, man, this guy helped me so much. Even though he never really actively, he didn't give me active advice or anything. I just learned so much from observing how he handled his drawings, how he built his gestures, and how he thinks about motion, how he utilizes, perspective grids, and all that stuff. There was so much big brain behind him. And yeah, definitely learned a lot from these clips alone, man. And just like like getting back to his work, whaling is one of like the main topics I think in within our communities, animation like close animation communities, because he just did the things that really impressed most of the people, and I think he's just iconic for us. Even if he might not believe it himself, we all believe he's the greatest or something, and we really just want to support him. So that's why we also talk about him so much. Hopefully, he doesn't get it in the wrong way, man. I really don't want to upset him, and hopefully, he's not mad at me for using his name or like just him as an example. To me, he's a big inspiration. And as I said, I'm just thankful to him, even though he never. Oh, let's see, man. Okay, I don't know if I'm back, but I'm definitely gonna stop streaming in a bit. I think this is design. Sorry, disconnecting. The OBS slowly starting to struggle with the amount of time I've been streaming. Uh, yeah, everyone keeps improving though. Wherein is just giving a direction, and many people follow. I feel might not actively follow him, but they just follow. Other people I would say inspired me a lot are Gem, for example. Not many people talk about her, I think, and she definitely deserves to be talked about. But maybe she's also just happy that people are kind of distant from her. She's more she's more of a held back person, but she's definitely very smart, hardworking, and super efficient in the way she produces work, I believe. Her drawings are beautiful. She's very clean, and I think I don't know, man. She also has connections to everyone, to Shingo Yamashita, to all these animators from Black Clover, Chainsaw Man. She worked on Chainsaw Man PV and shit. Super inspiration. Great person as well. I really enjoy talking to her sometimes. Haven't been talking to her in a while though. Hope she's okay. It's not the skill that is scary, it's just the amount of time and thoughts he puts into the thing, like with the determination and this kind of focus, I'd say, which is scary. Uh but it's the same with War Creek, man. Look at this kid, man, and how fast he grew. Isn't that scary? This guy like picked up so much from railing, and he's honestly Vakrik is probably one of the people who grew the fastest. But I'm 100% sure he's also one of the people who invested the most times. Right. I also like what Glenn Zhu does with his MVs, man. That's fucking insane. He even made a complete MV for Eve. Of course, he had some help and had some other animators joining too, but god damn it, man. That's the second MV in just 1 year. This shit fucking blew my mind. And the visuals, like the ideas and like the way he's like executing these, it's just so beautiful. He has like his own aesthetics to it. He has so much weight in his animation. His drawings are so nicely done, even though there's this roughness of Flash, but it's just so good. Glenzu is fucking awesome. Love him. He's such a chill guy too. Like I just met him once in 2018, but I really want to meet him again, man. And hopefully then we have a little bit more time to hang out, even if there's a language barrier. Just spending time together and, I don't know, maybe trying to communicate with broken English. I'm pretty sure just just that would already mean a lot to me, and I really want to go to Japan one more time and meet all these animators I got to know through internet. Len Su is his name. You can find him on Twitter. Gem. I'm not sure if you can find her that easily, but you can find her on Sakugaburu. I haven't fallen in love, but I think he's also a very important part of my journey, right? So like Valkyrie is also part of my journey, or road sign, right? And yeah, Valkyrie is 17. He's young. Su Miyazaki, exactly. Yes. Oh, Ria Mamura. You definitely could at some point. You could probably learn so much from his drawings, man. He's like the most accurate lines I've ever seen. This guy is scary. Such fucking strong shapes, man, and his illustrations. Jeez. A little bit horny, this guy, but damn, dude, he knows what he's drawing. Well, you don't need to be very social. You don't need to have massive social media presence. I mean, if you also feel uncomfortable with that, the only thing that you need is to get the jobs. So, just posting some Gengas. It's crazy, right? And so many talented people, and it's just getting more and more. It's not even getting less. It's just more people popping up every fucking day. And all of a sudden, these people sit in my server, and I just talk to them casually, out of nothing. They come out of nowhere. I don't know. It's like God said, like they. It's like these people never had internet before, and all of a sudden they appear on the internet, and they're right in front of you. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe everyone is just God sent or something. God is just like, oh yeah, create a new animator right now. Go to Twitter, go to, I don't know, Discord, talk to this guy. All right, I'm gonna break off the stream now. Thank you for everyone for joining in. I think we got everything covered. Had a little small talk at the end. Um, Hopefully could pick up some useful information, even though I didn't draw that much anymore because I just ended up being focused on talking. Yeah, the Sakuga King people, dude. So many new content, man. All right. Anyways, see ya, guys. Thank you for joining. Hopefully you have a great evening or great day or great morning, whatever what time ever time it is for you. And I'll see you around. I think I'll post the finished animation maybe in a few hours if I manage to finish in time. All right. Bye bye.